everybody, welcome to post commentary video is a new thing we're doing because we can't do this live.
It's Battalion Wars, and I hope everyone's being safe during this quarantine.
As you can see from this little video player, this is all post commentary. I recorded this a while back, and Joey hasn't been wanting to record, so.
Wanting to or being able to?
Well, I'm pretty sure it's some sort of weird mix of both. But yes, he's been unable to because he's been working hard like a good boy.
There you go.
Like a responsible adult.
Now don't get crazy.
Oh yeah, don't get crazy. So yeah, this is us attempting some post commentary. I don't know how well it's gonna turn out, but whatever.
I mean, if we can focus more on what we're talking about, and we can go on to the top. I'm interested in this whole concept.
Yeah, and I figured Battalion Wars was a good game because it's very mission-based and it's an action game, so it's like, once I finish explaining everything, we can kind of stop focusing as much.
Well, let's see where we go.
Well, it's an action strategy game, so there's still stuff to explain, but you know.
Let's see where it goes.
Let's see where it goes. Plus another advantage is, well, I'll explain that later, but yeah. So, as you can see, we have Battalion Wars, and then selecting the screen. Because it jumps right into it. I didn't want to, like, edit out the beginning, because once you start...
I've actually never seen this game.
It's a interesting concept. It's from the makers of Advanced Wars, so also the makers of Fire Emblem, as you're probably aware.
Yeah, you mean Inti Creates? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
On the border between the western frontier and the Tundran territory.
Got a cutscene here.
Because they're like, hey, don't start shooting. Why? They put up a fence.
It's dematerialization zone.
Yeah. They ain't demilitarized if they're arming the borders.
So, I'm going to explain this. Have you ever played Advanced Wars?
Yeah, yes I have.
You're going to realize that this was initially planned on being a spin-off to Advanced Wars. And you'll see that, like, these guys were supposed to be, like, the Blue Moon people, but they're not. And then you're going to see our actual main characters, who are supposed to be, like, Orange Star people, but they're not.
I mean, they got some fat feet. There's some Kingdom Hearts characters in this war. Wow, that's a chin.
Yeah, that's General Herman. He's gonna be one of our main characters.
Way to push the envelope there. What's she in the fucking band practice or something? Stop spinning your baton.
Oh yeah. We've got the football star, the cheerleader, and the only guy who's actually military.
This game feels about as campy and corny looking as when they made the Rampage game for the GameCube. It feels that type of campy.
We're talking over them. They're basically bored and because they're waiting for war and they're not having it, so they're going on training it.
Gotta make it so war we're declared.
Yeah. We're going on tutorial, training exercise.
Jesse, get the mouse out of the way.
That's not my mouse. I think that's the video's mouse.
What the fuck, Jesse?
I'm still new to this. I didn't realize it at the time.
You fucking clod. One speck is all I can focus on now. There could be butt fucking that blonde woman in the video, and I still would be focusing on the fucking white speck in the left.
Oh, don't worry, Joey. I'm sure after a while it only
Hold on, is that a star? What the fuck kind of Mario bullshit is this?
Oh yeah, all of the objectives are big stars.
That's stupid.
Don't worry, they become a little less prominent.
This looks like a bad Metal Arms. I'm sorry.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of the controls are kind of simplified because, as you'll see, it's also a strategy game. So, mixing the action and the strategy kind of...
I mean, it's about as logical as saying what Dynasty Warriors Empires is an action strategy game.
Yeah, well, this one's got a lot more strategy to it. Like, actual legit strategy.
legit strategy.
I know.
As opposed to what type of strategy?
Not legit. Illegitimate.
Okay, gatekeeper, tell me what is legitimate strategy then?
I don't know.
Give me your ratio.
Wait, you said empires? Oh, never mind. I thought you meant like regular Dynasty Wars. I'm like, yeah, regular Dynasty Wars.
I mean, the later ones have a little bit more, but the original ones didn't.
Yeah. No, Empires has a strategy in it, but this is like...
Dynasty Warriors Advanced was a pure strategy game.
So here we have a spy.
The spy just wandering around the road. Hi.
I know.
I missed the spy.
And then he just vanishes.
Yeah,
he turned into a listening post.
Yeah, what the fuck is this? Is he a jewel bug from Bloodborne? What the shit? Just fucking like, fuck this, I'm out. And peaced out. I'm never gonna get over the fact that you're an army soldier. It may be like an old school. This feels like a PlayStation 2 game. Sorry.
It's a GameCube game, so about that era.
I mean, GameCube's supposed to be up-res from the PlayStation 2. Is all
That's
I'm
true.
Say to that.
But again, it's a strategy game. There's gonna be a lot of people on screen, so I guess they had to make some.
If they could make Odama look better than this, come on.
Eh.
They could make Odama look better than this. And that was on the GameCube. That was like early GameCube.
That's true. But I guess the Odama's pretty small scale too, so you get a little bit more wiggle room on that.
Odama gives you a bunch of different things in the game that take a lot of space in the CPU, like controlling the ball and controlling the characters through vocal action.
That's true.
Is a big thing for a game console to handle. I mean,
that's true.
Well, everyone watching this remembers Let's Go Pikachu, or not Let's Go Pikachu, although those games are garbage. Hey You Pikachu.
Yeah.
And how much that Pikachu would listen.
Not at all.
Oh my god, every time. Ting, 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 right off the dome. By the way, I love the lush environment. It's like watching somebody
Wait,
play...
Joey, sorry, we got a dead person. We gotta stop. We gotta have the, like, we can't talk over that.
Moment of silence?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. This Mario character had died. There's stars everywhere. This is the actual warfare of the Mushroom Kingdom.
Well, it is Nintendo Wars series basically, so you know.
It looks like a Nintendo War-based series, which is a little rough.
When I
was thinking they make Advanced Wars, I was expecting along the lines of, I don't know, Zone of the Enders style interest and intrigue and depression.
We'll see. Looking on this does not look as bad when I was actually playing it. I think the video player is making this a little lower res than...
The video player is pixelating it whenever you move.
Yeah.
But it's because your video player isn't able to keep up with the, which is bad. Means you might need to get a different video player. That or you may need the anti-aliasing or whatever. But I don't know. This game, it looks okay.
Yeah.
I mean, for a GameCube game, I'd give it shit if I had it, but I wouldn't hate it as a game.
Oh yeah, and the gameplay's real fun.
Yeah. But if like hearing that it was meant to be an Advanced Wars spin-off, I'm a little disappointed. If that makes sense.
A little bit. I mean,
like if these are the same guys that make Fire Emblem, so and Advanced Wars is kind of like the branch off of that series. So
actually, I think didn't the original Famicom Wars come out before Fire Emblem?
Fire Emblem came out in...
No, you're right. It did come out first.
Yeah, Fire Emblem was 1985. Fire Emblem is old as shit.
Both those series are old as shit.
And if I wanted to branch off of Fire Emblem, you know what I would have wanted? Ideally, I would have wanted one that was like dealing with a band of mercenaries, like the Real Mercenaries, so I can deal with a mercenary-based workplace. Well, because like you liked the 100-Year War game by Koei Tecmo.
Yeah.
And the fact that you played both sides to make money. I would have liked a little more depth in it in Fire Emblem with the Guerrilla Mercenaries. Would have given that thing.
Oh yeah.
What are those side guns? That's a bad idea.
Oh, they are.
Those should be mounted on the tanks, not on the side of the tanks.
I think the assembled
It's Soviet Russia.
my personal army speaks for the marshal.
Do you know how to really make your vehicles inconspicuous in the green forest? Make them red.
Oh no, he's trying to start a war. Like, he's here being like, yo, we're invading.
No, I know. I'm just saying, motherfuckers got red vehicles in a forest.
Also, that ranking system at the end, that's one of the reasons why I wanted to be post-commentary. I want to be able to edit out all my failed takes. Because there are actual legit rewards to doing good on these missions, so naturally I have to do good on these missions.
I dig it.
And here we get a little bit of a...
So I think I know why you like this. It sounds and seems like this is a bit of a Star Wars Battlefront type of thing.
A little
With the units and the strategy dealing, there's probably just a little bit more strategy in it than that. But I'm getting that feel from this, where you get different units to use and different vehicles.
Different units. You could pick which one you prefer to control. Obviously, some are better than others for you to control.
Like this seems better than Star Wars Battlefront to me.
A little bit.
Because you get a little bit more control.
Well, with Star Wars Battlefront, you're not really supposed to be the guy in charge. You're supposed to be just another infantry unit. But in this one,
I know, but like I think that there's a missing link here, though, is what I'm saying.
A little bit.
Starting as the guy, the random fucking soldier, the buttfuck soldier in Star Wars, and then there's this middle in between. Where have you ever played Gundam Xeon versus Federation for the PlayStation 2?
I think so.
Okay, that was a game where you could choose your side, and you started out as a low-ranked soldier, and you rose within the ranks and chose your missions that changed the story depending on which one you chose, and the mechs that you got throughout the game. And eventually you got, like, unit members.
Also, sorry, I gotta talk about mechanics. You saw how it jumped over to that soldier over there?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's you flipping between characters like that. I will say, since we're going to get into more strategy in this one, I'm going to say a lot of the strategy, much like the shooting, is kind of just point and charge. And you can do a little bit more, but the controls are a little... The biggest problem with this game is that the controls are finicky as shit. It's hard to get your guys to do exactly what you want them to do. And more often than not, you'll be leading guys who should not be fighting certain guys against the guys they should not be fighting. By accident.
The game this game was competing with at the time, did you know, because this game, I can tell already, it had a competitor. Do you know what it was?
Which one?
It was SOCOM Navy SEALs.
I think I played that a really long time ago. I don't remember it.
SOCOM Navy SEALs had one of the most competent AI teammate systems in gaming for a while. So it was a hard competition. Like, this game had a lot of different things to offer, but it doesn't. It seems like there's a finicky control system going with this one. While that one's control system was relatively pure and perfect.
Yeah.
So
well, I do remember SOCOM Navy SEALs. That was very small time. You're gonna see we get a lot of people in this game. It's a lot bigger armies you'll be controlling.
I've noticed that you like Wonderful 101. Is it because of this?
Wonderful 101 is more like Pikmin, if you play Pikmin. Where you're more of a whole than you are individual units.
Right. Okay, I get what you're saying. Back to what I was saying about Federation versus Xeon. You start out as low ranking, you go into the role of being a combat leader, and the way you approach enemies is there are some that are just stronger than you.
Yeah.
So you need to bait them or something like that, or trick them, or outsmart them into environmental traps, or use your team and place them in specific areas so that they can be pincer attacked or whatever. That is what I ideally was wondering a game like this would be. With the extra elements added on, I believe that could be a great game. But
so I feel like this game could be that. The problem is, you can't control people on the map screen, because you'll see the map screen a little bit later where you get like an overview of everything that's happening. You can't control people on the map screen. I feel like that's the big thing that holds this game apart, because when you're controlling your guys, you have to control them live, and that makes moving specific units in specific places so that you can like all fight at the same time, the right opponent at the same time, is really annoying.
Right.
Because say you want to send your bazooka vets against the tanks, and you want to send your infantry against the other infantry, right? So you'll probably send your bazooka vets to attack the tanks. Well, now your bazooka vets are heading off straight towards the tanks while you're trying to aim at the infantry to charge the infantry. And by the time you get to the infantry, your bazooka vets are already getting lit up.
So, question. Is this the last Advance Wars game, or was it on the DS?
No, there was the one on DS, but this isn't even the last Battalion Wars. There was Battalion Wars 2.
Was that any better?
Yes.
Okay.
But
have they had any whispers of making another?
No. They need to make them a new Advance Wars first. Is the rule on that one.
I don't think that that's true. I think that Inti Creates makes what is popular, and they know their formula for Fire Emblem, but I don't know.
I don't think not enough people know about this game, is the problem.
Well, and it's because GameCube wasn't very good at advertising their stuff.
Well, the sequel's on the Wii, so we'll get into that when we get into that, but...
Okay,
if we get into that.
I'll just point this out. Nintendo isn't very good at advertising their stuff until, in fact, even now, the only things they really advertise are their first property games.
Well,
that are big.
Especially with the spin-offs like this, it's like, they have like no faith in us.
Well, they have no faith in Inti Creates, but they have faith in Fire Emblem because they found the weeaboo demographic.
Yeah.
The we don't need to write like it's Lord of the Rings anymore because it's easier just to appeal to people that are in it for more shallow story. And while I understand and respect the fact that gets more people focused on it, it takes away a little bit of the soul. And I'm worried if they try to do that with this, it'll take away what soul it had.
Yeah.
Because honestly, sure, I'd like an anime-esque Advance Wars game like this, but at the same time, would it be good for it? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. You saw me use a little bit of strategy just now. I held my guys back to properly fight, so my tank could take out the towers, and then yeah. You kind of understand how this goes.
This looks like a mess.
It is. That's what most of these firefights turn into. It's just like everybody just kill whatever, and then you saw I just lost 2 people because whatever.
All I'm thinking of is like, so in the newer Samurai Warriors and Dynasty Warriors, you can allocate certain units to certain bases and shit like that, and be like, all right, play defensively at that base, or play offensively at that base, which means if enemies come in, you meet them at the gate.
You can do that, and we'll see that in the next mission, where you pretty much have to do that. But
I'm just pointing out, the games that didn't necessarily be known for strategy be known for more strategy now, because most people play them on easy mode because, hey, I want to kill things.
Oh yeah.
But you play Dynasty Warriors on a harder difficulty, it'll kick your tail in.
So you saw I still got S rank. As long as you're getting above 90, you're pretty good.
Wow, I don't like this grading system. It's functionally not a good grading system.
Well, what it is you got power, which means you kill everybody. You make sure you kill all your enemies throughout the mission. You don't avoid certain enemies. You got technique, which keeps you from, which means you keep everybody alive. That's me just like realizing I still have time to do another mission. And then you got speed, which is how fast you go through the mission.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I hope the next one's a little... I do hope that the next one was a little better. I mean, the Wii had a lot of good games later in its life, but early on you had shit like Red Steel.
Well, the second one is better. It is motion controls, which... on the one hand, it's motion controls that has its own problems, but on the other hand, it does allow you to like command your units a lot faster if you get good at it, which is the big problem with this one.
I could not stand to see you toss our...
Also, here, for the plot reasons, we learned the old man started this war completely against his son's rule.
The Tundran army is no longer yours to command. Now
So,
take control of those...
this is a war between two armies that don't want it as a rule.
With her, this is an outrage.
Also, corny as shit.
He's like, how dare you take my army? It's my army.
Cycle between multiple target locks, except if it sends to one rifleman to the next rifleman instead of the next bazooka man, it doesn't really help.
Hmm.
Colonel Austin at your service, Commander.
Gotta love that graphic
Radar
clipping.
array at Windbreak Ridge.
Oh, look at that. Just subtle graphic clipping.
But it is now surrounded by...
I will say, this is one of the first time the creators of Fire Emblem actually made a 3D game like this, so
Windbreak Ridge before it falls.
they're probably just learning, Joey.
I mean, make an original one then.
It's pretty original.
It's made as a branch off of Advanced Wars, as you said, basically.
I mean, it started out as that. I think they decided
did.
to just do its own thing.
You look at the art, it's Advanced Wars.
It is.
Major Nelson
Like,
sounds like she means business.
I don't know. My thought was maybe they would make something that would translate over from that, which is easy to make. An on-rails aerial shooter would be a good choice to translate over to this from that.
Reinforce the radar.
Oh,
that's what-
we'll get into aerial shooting later. There's
Got here first.
Oh, on rails, like Star
Yeah.
Fox.
Herman taught you about flanking.
It's a good medium to utilize if you've never done this thing before in that many years.
So here you see me trying to finish these guys behind cover. Then I was just like, screw it, shoot them.
Not working the best.
There we go. See, okay, this game, I was ragging on it. I do like the shooting in this game. And I do like, you were saying how the combat looked chaotic. I love large-scale chaotic battles. So this game does kind of tick a lot of the things I love. Without even, like,
See,
trying. I do like the art style. I do like a lot of the cartooniness.
I'll go more in depth on my thought on the chaotic combat, because there is positive chaotic combat in my mind that I look for. You know.
Oh, I know what you're talking about, because this one, and I will say, although I do rag on the strategy because of the controls, once you get it like down, it's actually, there are moments where it's like, yeah, I get to be strategic, and being smart about things is still important.
Neutralize the enemy recon.
So the chaotic combat doesn't look like it feels fun. Like it feels like it's a very point and shoot type of thing, and that's great if it wasn't made by guys that make tactics based RPGs. But it was.
Yeah.
It was made by people that were some of the first ones to foray into some of the darker realms, aka permadeath. So I don't know. I'm not impressed personally, but I will not judge you for enjoying it yourself.
I will say we are still kind of in the early tutorial too, where we're just controlling riflemen shooting riflemen.
Well, yeah. So, and obviously that would mean that I'm not impressed so far.
Fair enough.
Lead the bazooka veterans to guard the entrance to the radar array.
I'm kind of just interested to see how this goes, because
Press the X button to put them in.
honestly it could go either way.
Infantry attack at the rear of the base. Head for the gold star, Commander.
So in this mission, it's kind of simple. You put your bazooka vets right there, and then your infantry at the back, and then you win.
To select an individual rifle grunt.
So, very basic strategy, but whatever.
You're just holding a base.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
This is definitely the mission where we talk over it, because
Have your soldier
we just sit here and wait until we murder everything.
press the X button.
There you go. Any new games you're looking forward to other than the ones that have been delayed?
Oh, gee. What,
I command you to strike.
Well, I guess this isn't what I'm looking forward to, but I haven't owned it yet, and I'm probably gonna buy it soon. Final Fantasy VII Remake is apparently absolutely amazing in every way.
Yeah, you know, like, I'm not gonna say I called it, but, you know, I called it.
Well, I just thought, push the hype. I just wanted to push the hype brakes a little bit.
I just thought that things that are things at one point can't change and should stay constant throughout their life, and if they don't, then they're not cool.
Listen, I was just worried that, like, what makes Final Fantasy VII great might have been, like, changed or something, and we might not actually be getting Final Fantasy VII. But no, we are getting that. That they managed to keep it.
Your exact argument with me was they're going to change it from turn-based, and that was what made it Final Fantasy VII. And my argument back to you
was going to say that's the major gameplay. That made the gameplay of Final Fantasy VII.
That was your exact wording of your argument to me. So my argument back to you was, Final Fantasy games can be good irregardless of the gameplay style, because the gameplay style may be a format that they're good at, but it's not the only thing that they're good at.
Listen, I was just worried that because they had changed the major gameplay, they were going to change a bajillion other things, and it was going to be all wrong.
Okay, well,
I was just saying I was worried because of it. I wasn't necessarily thinking it was going to be bad.
We're playing a perfect example of that not being the case necessarily. In your own mind, even.
Yeah.
This is a game that is a branch off of Advance Wars, technically, and it's like they use the monochrome of Advance Wars style art and everything, and you know it is.
That's true, but this is a remake of an Advance Wars game.
It
so
doesn't
it's
matter
a little
if it
different.
was a remake. If it was a remake, would you still get pissed off? Would you be like, well, I don't like this? If it was maybe.
If I wanted Advance Wars and I got this, then yeah, I'd probably be a little cheesed. But this is not Advance Wars. I wanted Battalion Wars, and I got Battalion Wars.
Well, here's my question for you then. Does that not mean that you're just closed-minded to change instead of being open to playing different game styles? You only see things in a singular way, and that makes you closed-minded.
There's a place for change, and there's a place for different gameplay.
That seems like a deflection. Because I asked you a specific question.
Yes, different gameplay is fun.
No, not can it be fun. Why is there no room in your mind for a change in gameplay from a classic game still being able to be better than the original game? Because obviously it can. There are different examples throughout history.
You didn't think I was going to make it easy.
My thing is, there is a certain soul to the game and gameplay. You play Mario for good platforming. As long as Mario is still, like, main Mario series, I'm not talking about spin-off, just main Mario series. As long as Mario is still good game platforming, it doesn't matter how much the gameplay changes.
So I'm gonna cut you off right there, because Square Enix actually made something that's considered one of the main Mario games. Mario RPG is not a Paper Mario game.
It's not part of the main series, it's an RPG, it's a spin-off. Mario RPG is a spin-off. I don't care what you say.
It's a main game.
It's a
Just
spin-off.
because you're narrow-minded to these things, Jesse, does not make them true.
Okay, Joey, what makes a spin-off and what makes a main game?
Well, what made a spin-off was the fact that they didn't have spin-offs for Mario yet. They had licensed out games, but that one was licensed by Nintendo and overseen by Nintendo.
Okay, so there are a lot of spin-offs. That doesn't mean
Missing.
nothing.
Mario is Missing was not overseen by Nintendo. That was just left to the people to fucking make it. Back then, spin-offs wasn't a deal.
So? So?
No, so you. So what's your point? Is your point? Well,
okay, so you're saying because spin-offs weren't a deal means something can't be a spin-off.
Spin-off is your point. Retroactively, it was a spin-off.
It's not retroactively, it's a spin-off. Even at the time. Nobody looked at that and was like, yeah, that's the new Mario World. Everybody saw that and was like, yeah, that's just its own thing.
Mario World. See, this is a perfect example of you have a very stagnant mentality on games that need to be. Well, if it's a main series game, it can only play like all of the games before it. It can't change. It can't evolve.
As long as the most important part of the gameplay which was the platforming, because it was a platformer, and people play Mario because it's a platformer, as long as that still exists, you can do what you want with Mario.
Good. People play Mario because it's good. They don't play it only because it's a platformer. If people played Mario only because
that's like saying I should play Mario is Missing because it's a Mario game.
How? What? I said it's because they're good.
Oh, because they're good. I see. So let me rephrase this. Mario Baseball is a good game.
Yes.
And all Mario games should be baseball now because it's good.
Now you're still thinking the
no,
same thing.
No, I'm not saying.
Yes, you are.
But you're saying the mainline Mario. Sorry, you're saying the mainline Mario games can be baseball.
Can be flexible. I never said it needs to be one thing. You're stuck in this singular-minded mentality.
I am saying it can be, Joey. It can be flexible. It's just how flexible do you want it to be? You're
not saying it's flexible. You are saying it either has to be one static thing or the other static thing. I am saying it can be anything as long as it's good.
But Joey, I do believe it does need to be somewhat static. You're saying static is bad. No, because when I buy a Mario game, I'm buying it based on my previous Mario experiences. And
you know why you bought it? Why did you buy Mario and Rabbids then?
Why did I buy Mario and Rabbids? It wasn't based on the fact that I was like, yeah, this is a Mario game. I actually legitimately thought it was more of a Rabbids game at the time.
Well, you're in the minority then, because everyone else saw it as a Mario game.
But here's the thing, I don't think anybody who bought it who was like, yeah, this is going to be like Mario Odyssey. Nobody bought it and was like, yeah, this is going to be like Paper Mario. People saw it and realized it was its own thing, completely separate.
They said it's going to be a good Mario game, Jesse.
It can be a good Mario game, and there is a little bit of brand recognition in it. But nobody was buying it based on previous Mario games, just that...
Your entire argument is gone.
I don't think you're understanding my argument.
I get your argument. Okay, a mainline game is a separate thing than a series, but it's not. The series is there as a series. The name is there as a name, and it's flexible as all fuck because of the name. And Mario is proof that is a workable concept.
Let me put it like this: you can do whatever you want in a side game. In a side game, I don't care what you do with Mario. You can make Mario porn for all I care.
That's a fair opinion, but it's not really something that works in factual media. You can make whatever the fuck you want as long as the game is good and it works.
I don't know. I don't think you can always.
That's proven. That's proven. It is a proven fact in gaming that if the game that you made is good, people will buy it if people know the character.
I also know a lot of people will be pissed if they don't get what they initially wanted.
And then they'll buy all the new ones.
Will they?
I mean, you tell me, Paper Mario player.
I don't know. I hate the new Paper Marios. I haven't bought them because they changed what made Paper Mario good.
So, relative to when Paper Mario came out, you didn't play that because you didn't know it was there yet. But Paper Mario Thousand Year Door came out, and people were like, oh my god, this is one of the best games of all time.
Yep.
And then Super Paper Mario came out. More people bought that, and they enjoyed it.
Okay, more people bought that, but I know a lot of people who did not like Super Paper Mario. I myself was like, yeah, I kind of wish they stuck with Paper Mario. And after that, I was a lot more cautious with Paper Mario.
You're not mitigating my point, though. You're not mitigating it. The point that I made.
I think you're mixing up buying with enjoying, Joey. I think you're mixing that up.
I'm not. What the fuck are you talking about? Paper Mario came out, the Thousand Year Door came out, more people bought it.
Yeah.
My point is proven. Done. I win.
Okay.
That's all it takes. Is one game came out, people tried it, people liked it. Next game came out, more people bought it. It happened. It's done.
Because people like the gameplay.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And then they
heard Thousand Year Door was the gameplay, and they bought more of it. Yeah.
And then Super Paper Mario changed the gameplay a little bit. And yes, you may not have enjoyed the new gameplay, but other people did.
But here's the thing. There's a lot of people who were like, yeah, Thousand Year Door was really good. We'll try that. And they were just going based off of that. But, like, they were doing that based on Thousand Year Door's goodness. But when Sticker Star came out, and Sticker Star had the new gameplay, people didn't buy it as much, even though it was similar to... No, let me finish. Similar to the old one, because they did not enjoy Super Paper Mario. A lot of the initial sales is based on the last game. A lot of Super Paper Mario sales is based on Thousand Year Door. Whereas I feel like a lot of Sticker Star's failure is based on Super Paper Mario being
But I'm talking relative to basic Mario games. Your entire point was this is not a thing that works.
Relevant to other Mario games, I feel like they're a spin-off series. I feel like relevant to other Paper Mario games doesn't matter.
Hold up. Relevant to other Mario games was your entire argument. So, Paper Mario happened. It worked. The second one came out, it worked better. The third one came out, it worked about as well. And then the next ones came out and they made bad decisions, which happens. But the game is a proven concept that worked. You can't dispute it.
Yeah.
It happened. So, where's your argument? Yes, they made bad choices. A lot of developers make bad choices after the game has already proven its salt in a game series before.
Yes.
But it already happened, so it doesn't matter.
Also, we finished Battalion Wars a long time ago. I just want to point that out. But
yeah, no, I know. But it already happened, is my point. Like, it's proven that it can work. My point is still proven. It doesn't matter if you think the games, after a certain point, just weren't as good as the other ones. They still existed.
Yeah.
Before. Like, the games before still existed and proved the point. Now, the point that needs to be proven is there are bad game design elements that prove that if the game is good, people will buy it, which was my point, and they buy it because it's good.
Okay, Joey, let me ask you something. Say Final Fantasy became a first-person shooter series with a horrible story. It basically became Call of Duty. And it was still good Call of Duty game, but you never got another Final Fantasy game again, like the old ones again.
You're missing the point of good.
I think
the phrase when I no. You're missing no. This time I know you.
Okay, let me hear.
You're missing the point of when I say good game. It's a good game. It means it doesn't have a bad story. If it was an FPS with a good story,
so you're saying Final Fantasy is about the story at its core? Because my point is, as long as
your entire argument was about the gameplay, Jesse.
Okay.
So don't move your goalpost on me.
Earlier today, I said Final Fantasy VII Remake is good because it kept the core of what my Final Fantasy VII was good. And not just the gameplay. I was worried that because they changed the gameplay... I said I was worried. I didn't say for sure. I said I was worried that because they changed the core gameplay, they might change the core of what they...
You didn't trust it.
Yeah, I didn't trust it because they changed the core gameplay. They might change the other core aspects of it. So that made me worried and untrustworthy. I was proven wrong. I will admit I was proven wrong. But I will say, and then I went on to gameplay with Mario because Mario is about the gameplay, and the core of Mario is its platforming and not its story. So if the core of Mario was changed, which was its platforming... I
can't tell what you're saying because your audio is cutting up really bad.
Sorry.
I can't tell what you're saying. Your audio is cutting.
Let me rephrase it. The core of Final Fantasy was its story, and part of its, at least part of Final Fantasy's core was its gameplay, just a little bit, not as strongly. So when they changed the gameplay, I was worried they might change certain aspects of the story. They might change other core aspects of it, and that made me worried. That made me a little untrustworthy. Am I cutting out really badly?
I still can't tell what you're saying, man.
Okay.
You're robotic.
Okay, let me try turning it down. Maybe I'm getting a little too worked up. It's working that. I'm worried that because they changed a core aspect of Final Fantasy's gameplay, they might change other core aspects of Final Fantasy VII and make it a completely different game to what it was, like 100% different. Like the story is very different. A lot of things, and it made me untrustworthy. Maybe it was a little unfounded, but I said I was untrustworthy. I didn't say explicitly it was going to be bad. I was just a little nervous about it.
Oh,
I was nervous, and like
when have they done it? When have they done that before? What have they done that before, though? You know, with Final Fantasy specifically.
13.
Because the only game that they ever they 13.
Yeah.
They only made one run of the games for 13. And, you know, they're bad games. But they weren't already made.
I know, but
They were made one time. So you're telling me because they made a bad game, they might make a bad remake? But they already have the groundwork for the remake. They didn't have anything to work on for the game except the fact that they wanted to appeal to a Western demographic. It didn't work, so they backpedaled.
I don't know. I just know Square Enix has made some bad games before, so I was just a little worried that in the remake scene they might do something bad. I was just worried. I wasn't explicitly saying it was going to be bad. I was just worried.
You were giving me shit specifically for worrying about Mario Odyssey, and I give you credit for that because you were right to. Because my whole thing
you
was,
could be
I don't
worried
know how
about
Mario
Mario
could work
Odyssey.
in the world.
But why were you worried about Mario Odyssey?
We talked about it at length, where I was like, well, I don't know how they're going to deal with Mario in a real world, or I don't know how they're going to deal with Mario in a relatively open world with all these different mechanics added to it.
So
you were like, well, that doesn't make sense.
That's because, at the core, Mario has always been about good platforming. It doesn't matter where you put them, how you do it. If the mainline Mario series has good platforming, it will be a good game. And that's what Mario Odyssey did.
No. There are things they could do to mess it up, even if it controls fine.
Like how?
There are. There are.
Okay, say Final Fantasy VII's remakes gameplay was not very good, but the story was still fantastic. Would it still be a good game?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I defined what I thought was a good game, is that it encompasses all of that, Jesse.
It encompasses all of that. I don't know. I'm of the person who... I guess this is more me. See, this is why this whole conversation is very subjective. I will say this right from the beginning. Well, I should have said it right from the beginning. For me, I can focus on the good aspects. And you saw me talking about this earlier with Battalion Wars, how I like certain aspects of this game quite a bit, which is why I enjoy this game quite a bit. Whereas you were focusing like on the graphics, on the whole of the game, and we're being like, yeah, no. So for me, I can focus on what's really good.
I was focusing on the streamlining of the game and how, yeah, I was saying it's solid. I wasn't saying it's a bad game.
I guess.
And I think I would like it if you didn't
I guess maybe I jumped on that one a little bit, but I guess point I'm saying is I played bad RPGs that I've very much enjoyed because the story has been good. Even if the gameplay has been either bland or just bad.
And I, as a longtime player of RPGs, and I have recognized that it's a lot harder to get through an RPG that has bad gameplay.
And that is true.
In fact, it's more likely for you to put one down because of it, and that's not fair to the player.
And I will admit that is true as well. And that, whether or not that makes the game good or bad, whether you can get through based on the story, regardless of the gameplay, or you need the good gameplay, is up to the individual player. So, I guess this whole conversation has been based on what is good, when good is very subjective. But I will also say, to a certain extent, within a series, within a mainline,
at this point, I can't understand you at all.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're so robotic at this point.
I'm sorry. Alright, well, let's end the episode and be done.